the sphere from our room. Las Vegas, Nevada. The mountains.
Okay, we got this. Get the water. As many units.
View from our room in MGM Grand and Las Vegas. And there's the sphere. It's pretty. Here's the rest of the room. Big screen TV. Mini bar over there. Closet. And nice big bed. And then there's a whole nother room over here. Another TV. The sun is setting. Looks like a stained glass window. I didn't realize, Craig, the stratosphere is right behind it. I mean, not right behind it, but that's probably a cool view. Bryce Canyon. Absolutely stunning. Gonna walk down to the bottom. This is Bryce Canyon.
Ready?
Another view of Bryce Canyon from another angle. It's really hard to tell the depth. It is so deep and beautiful. I sent the kids a picture.
With another ecological region called the Colorado Plateau on the northern end. So when we get to the northern end of this gorge, guys, we're going to start seeing some new ecology. We're going to start seeing some new rocks. There's going to be a series of red rocks. There's going to be red sand. And the trees are just going to start to appear out of nowhere as we make our way into this new ecosystem. So, Mojave Desert on one side, Colorado Plateau on the other. No, I didn't address why they call it the Mojave Desert, guys. They call it the Mojave because it was founded by this guy Mo and Javi, right? Not quite. But they call it the Mojave because of the Native American tribe, the Hamakabi. And the Hamakabi were discovered by European colonizers in 1775, particularly a gentleman named Francisco Garces, who's got a street named after him in downtown Las Vegas. He was the first person of European descent out there in the Mojave, and he was a Catholic priest from Spain. So I think he got beat by the LDS though, but we'll see, guys. Maybe there'll be more Catholic churches out here later on. But anyways, guys, so now that we're in the Virgin River Gorge, I'll tell you a bit about this gorge. So it's called the Virgin River Gorge because it was formed by a river called the Virgin River. And you may be able to catch a glimpse of the Virgin River here on the right or left-hand side of the bus, depending on where we are in the gorge. Okay? The Virgin River is by no means a large river. If you are a vertically gifted person like myself, you could probably walk across the Virgin River Gorge in about 2 steps. Maybe 1.5 on a good day. But out here in the West, guys, we are so proud of our moving bodies of water that what you would call a stream, a brook, or a creek, we would call a river. So, the Virgin River is a tributary of the Colorado River, meaning kind of like an offshoot. So, the waters of the Virgin River would eventually flow into the Colorado. Now, when it comes to the name Virgin, guys, oh, by the way, the Virgin River is right here on the right. When it comes to the name Virgin, I once in a while will get a question, and it will sound a bit like this. So why do they call it the Virgin River Gorge for? That's so gross. Okay? Now, just a little backstory on the word virgin, okay? It doesn't always apply. It's got the, it's pretty pricey to enter the canyon most times of the year, and that price is free. So, I'm not sure if you guys can afford that price free, but you know, I can, so I guess I'm doing well, right? So, a whole bunch of amazing hikes out here, a lot of biking trails, and just a lot of general amazing scenery. And if you're ever out here in the southwest of Utah, guys, near Bryce Canyon or Zion, make sure you check out Red Canyon too, because it's just the right price now, isn't it? Now these small tunnels that we pass through are not made by the hand of Mother Nature, but by the hand of humankind. There is another national park here in Utah, guys. It is called Arches National Park, the park that we enter in. So it'll be hotter on one side of the park due to the drop in our elevation. So, interesting thing to note, guys, the drop in elevation puts us deeper in the canyon, and when it gets deeper, guys, it gets hotter. So, interesting stuff. We're in Zion, and we're not lying. So, ladies and gentlemen, and those in between, welcome to Zion National Park, folks. So, here we are at the east entrance. If you look around, you can see there's still pine trees out. But by the time we get to the middle of Zion, guys, these pine trees are going to be few and far between. We're going to stop right over here at a rock formation called Checkerboard Mesa. It has a very distinctive checkerboard pattern on the side of the rock here, guys, and in the rock itself deflects, causing that checkerboard pattern. So let's check it out, guys. So they didn't get a chance to build the Walmart, and they were going to call the place Mokuntuweap National Park, but that didn't really ring well to the ears. You know what I mean? Didn't sound very pleasing. So they thought to themselves, if they can't pronounce the name, would anybody come? So instead of Mokuntuweap National Park, they thought to themselves, what have these nice Mormon boys been calling it? They've been calling it the Hebrew word for a place of refuge or a place of peace, Zion. And ever since 1919, it has been Zion National Park. Now what's funny, guys, is a lot of people around the area that are close to Zion don't use the ah sound in the pronunciation of Zion. They don't. They call it Zion, like Z-I, or just Zion. You never hear the ah sound. Millions of years ago, this entire area was underwater, and this type of rock is called Navajo sandstone. And the Navajo sandstone is a type of porous rock, and the porous rock will absorb water very easily. Now, while this area was underwater, it absorbed quite a bit of rock, and when the waters receded back to the Pacific Ocean, the element of water in the rock began to rust, and you get that orangey reddish color that we can see on the right and the left hand side. So rust would be the element here that gives Zion and the majority of the Southwest that orangey reddish color. Now at the same time, this area was underwater, and there was a lot of coral at the time underwater. There was a lot of shellfish, and that would mean that there was a lot of calcium here present while this area was underwater. And a lot of the white here can be traced back to the prehistoric era when this area was underwater, and that would be the content of calcium there in the rocks. Now over here on the left hand side, guys, you can see a natural swirl formation in the rock. You guys see that swirl pattern coming down? That comes from rainwater pooling up in certain areas of the rocks, absorbing the minerals, specifically the mineral manganese, which gives it that dark color, and then spilling it down the side of the rock, causing that swirl pattern to take place. Now right over here on the left hand side, guys, this particular dark color in the rocks comes from a substance that scientists and biologists are actually baffled by. That substance on the rock is so old that they can't get a conclusive idea of what it is. Some people think there was some kind of ancient bacteria, but nobody really knows for sure. So we're crossing into a small tunnel right now, and this is not the tunnel that's going to be the long one. That one's coming up.
And Zion National Park. Just incredibly beautiful.